Alrighty. What is up, everybody? Live for the Danny Briere presser. Should be interesting. Let's see if this is, you know, not just, word jumble and we get some stuff. We'll see what, Danny says and, kind of go from there. I believe this is streamed. I think it's televised on NBC. So I should be able to pull up an audio kind of an audio coverage from this. Any comments, questions, anything like that, leave in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Already got some people in here coming in this morning, so should be a good one. We'll kind of see what happens. DJ 698, what's up, man? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking this is going to be maybe a little bit more than just the kind of word jumble stuff. It would be nice to actually hear some things and hear what's going on. Adam, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Always good to hear from you. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I know this is kind of last minute. Kind of announced it last night. Figured why not? Let's stream. So yeah, go from there. Yeah, got 𝐊𝐈𝐂𝐊𝐍 is in tonight, so no Lawton. Kylo Green, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Definitely curious what's going to happen at the trade deadline. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, I think they definitely shop Bristow. That would definitely make a ton of sense. Lawton is one of them guys too that I wonder about. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Yeah, the goalie situation. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's been bad. It's been really bad. Yep, no Lawton tonight. Got no Lawton, 𝐊𝐈𝐂𝐊 in Urson. So yeah, he is. Yeah, Lawton's in rumors all the time. It's crazy. But yeah, I'll be at the game tonight too. Going with my dad. Should be a good time. Kind of see what happens. But yeah, this will be interesting because I'm trying to figure out if I can get a stream. That would be sick. Yeah, should be a good game tonight too. I mean, it's a big game, big opponent. This is a huge stretch for this team, so we'll kind of see what happens over the next really the rest of this month. all of January is filled with these games that are just division opponents, Eastern Conference and whatnot, and we'll kind of see what happens with that. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I mean, the last time they played the Wings, lost in Detroit, had some pretty good good moments in both of those games. You had the 4-goal game from Lawton. They won't have him tonight, which is ironic. Last time they played them at home, he scored 4 goals. But we'll see what happens. Trying to find a stream for this game or this presser. Hope I can find it. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of me doing this if I can't get it. But we'll see. That'll be interesting. I know I got a comment here. You think Dubas will pull the fire sale in Pittsburgh? Feel it should have happened last year. Yeah, dude. I mean, like, you know, uh, Pittsburgh is weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it makes sense. I feel like at the same time, it's like kind of like a disservice to kind of what you started at the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? Like, you went out and you got you extend Crosby, you do all the little stuff, and it's like I don't think they made a ton of other moves, but like you extend him, and it's like, all right, are you going to try to win with this core like one last time, or try to do something, And it doesn't look like that is what the case was. I don't know. I mean, if that's true and they are going out full fire sale, I think it makes perfect sense. Um, I think Bill Meltzer said it best on the Penguins. Like they're like I think he said like the '03 or '02 Rangers. Like they're just one of them teams that just like are still, you know, they're just like there. Like they're not like they're trying to compete with a roster that just isn't good, and it's like it's just not going to work. So I don't know. Um, we'll see. I mean, I could be way off, but I don't know. It's weird. It's weird with them. They're an interesting team. Um, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, they're in a really weird spot, Pittsburgh. Because it's like, do you completely sell? Do you stay where you're at? Like I don't. I have no idea what they're gonna do. All right, let's try to find a stream here. That would be sweet. It's been a little different with the monitor. I got a monitor in here now, so it's been a little different. Feeling like a big studio guy now that I got this fucking monitor. And let me see here. Whoa, 𝐊𝐶𝐁𝐋𝐄, that was crazy. Got 12 stitches. This is from Matt Dabrowski. I think that's how I say that. Apologize if I said it wrong. And a chance that Coots, Lawton, and Kolosov still gets traded for more centers scoring for Michkov for one scoring. I don't think all of them get traded. I don't think they're going to trade Couturier. I don't know about Kolosov. I think we're going to hear about that in a little bit here. What's kind of going on with Danny and whatnot, but yeah, I don't know. Risto, I think, could get moved. Lawton definitely. Yeah, I think Lawton you move. I think Kolosov you try to figure out what he is. I don't think he's an NHL goaltender right now. I think Fedotov was the number 2, and I thought that was obvious from the beginning. I don't know. That was interesting. Like trying to figure out who was the third goalie and whatnot. Like that was just a disaster. It's really weird. They have no picks either. Yeah, Carlson's a disaster. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's just fire sell mode and see what they do at this point and try to go from there. Brett Kolosov has 0 value. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kolosov has a ton of value. I think he has some. I don't think he has like none. I think he's got a little bit because it's like, he's young and he's, I think everyone in the league knows how goalies are and whatnot. But you think they packaged TK and Michkov for Mike Trout? That's good. No, but I'd love to see Bowman. Who could I compare that to? I guess Bowman, Castellanos maybe. That probably wouldn't even get it done. I don't know. He's so fucking injury prone. I don't know what they would do. TK and Michkov, that is good though. That's funny. Very good trade. It's funny. Oh, man. Trying to find a stream. I'm assuming it's going to be on the website as well. As, you know, I know it's on TV, but yeah, I'm thinking it's either going to be on Twitter or I think I know it's going to be streamed on television. I just don't know if that's going to carry over to this. I'm assuming if it's getting streamed on television, the Flyers are just going to tweet it, and carry the same feed. But we shall see. See what happens. I haven't seen a ton of talk from, like, I'm trying to find stuff, like, there wasn't even like an announcement that Danny was talking. I was looking through all like different tweets and stuff and whatnot and could not find anything. It's 10:28, got a couple minutes. I had to break out the Flyers mug for the coffee. I think that's the question of the stream. How do you guys do your coffee? Like, what are you putting in it? Cream, sugar, or whatnot? I've been doing recently. I've been doing those, like the Fairlife, like the protein drinks, the chocolate one, and I just put that in here, like just for the coffee, nothing else, and just that. It's so good. It tastes like chocolate milk, and then you add it in there. It's like chocolate coffee. You don't even need anything else. It's good. Very good. Highly recommend it. The other ones are good too, but they're a little chalky. The what one did I have? I got one the other day. It was like the core power one. It was like the 42 grams, I think it was. It was good, but it was chalky. It was like, oh boy. I was eating it. I was like, oh god. Yeah. All right, where's this stream, man? If not, we'll just do a live reaction to the quotes and whatnot. Which that would stink. But I don't know. This is weird. I'm not seeing anything here. Anyone else find anything on here? Any stream or whatnot? I figured they do. I mean, like I said, I figured they'd be streaming this. Yeah, they said 10:30. That's what they said. I mean, I haven't seen it unless they changed it, but I'm not seeing anything from any of the main beats. Yeah, I figured they were just playing the Eagles. They said 10:30. 𝐊𝐈𝐂𝐊𝐈���. Yeah, imagine. It's funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like they said 10:30. So I'm trying to figure that out. Here it is. Yep. All right. Live now on Twitter. Pull that up. 1 second. Bear with me here. Bear with me.
A few more wins, obviously, in the standings. But now the way we've played in the last 15, 20 games, I've been very pleased, and it's kind of showed a little bit what we are, the kind of team that we are.
There we go.
A little stingy defensively. Goaltending has obviously been better. So the defense, I thought we were a little loose early in the season. And that's something that's really improved. And lately, since the Christmas break, we've been really good defensively.
Danny, you guys are 4 points out of a playoff spot, despite the fact that you guys have the lowest save percentage, 881 in the league from the goalies. I guess from your perspective, how much of the fact that you guys are currently in a playoff spot can you attribute to the goaltending, or do you think that's too reductive?
We have to be careful. It's really easy. It's really easy to just blame the goalies. That's the easy way out. When you look at it, it reminds me like minor hockey. You win a game, it's whoever scores the goals, and you lose a game, it's the goalie's fault. Like, hey, there's been some bad games. We're not going to deny that. But at the same time, it's not all on goaltending. And especially lately, Urson has really taken a step.
I agree with that. Yeah.
He was up and down earlier, but Sam Urson to me strikes me as a goalie that when he starts to feel it, when he starts to feel comfortable, he gets better and better. I remember last season, early in the season, we were wondering if he could even be a backup goalie. Early in the season, we were a little worried, and then he got into his groove and he got better and better. So him starting the season, you got to be careful analyzing him. And then he gets hurt and he's out for a certain amount of time, and coming back, it takes him a couple games to get back in it. So there's a lot of those games where he may be coming out of those breaks, he wasn't as sharp. But then when he starts playing, it seems like he's a goalie that starts to feel it, and he feels better and better, and he gets comfortable in there. So I've been pleased with him, especially lately. Fedotov had the rough start as well, but I think the first 3 starts he was really, really struggling. But since then he's been much better. Now he's proven that he's the way he's played. If you take out those first 3 starts, he's a capable backup goalie. but but 2 weeks ago, he was the number 3. So kudos to him for working his way back in. And 𝐊𝐍𝐔, I thought 𝐊𝐍𝐔 started really well. And then on the back end for him, it's kind of gone the other way. So there's been, flip-flop between the two. So it has been perfect. But overall, I think it's really too easy for us to just blame the goalies on that. We're happy that we're in the mix again. But we'd like to have a few more wins and be on the inside rather. And hopefully we're going to keep pushing that way.
You have 3 goalies on the roster right now.
Yep.
I guess just obviously Alexei's the only one who has the waiver exemption. Why, what's the plan for him moving forward?
We're looking into that. There's a lot of moving parts. I mean, like I said, a few days ago, he was the backup goalie. And we're looking at different options. And now, 𝐊𝐈𝐓𝐇 is the backup. So we're looking at different things. We're also trying to be careful with Sam. He's played a lot. It's not ideal having 3 goalies. We realize that, but at the same time, taking some load off in practice for him, having 3 goalies.
That was interesting.
I think we're going to practice less and less. So we're looking at different things here.
Different things. That's
And
got to
I guess
mean
given
trade,
everything that
whatnot.
happened at the start of the year, is he willing to go down to the AHL if you guys make that decision?
As far as I know, yes. I don't have any reasons to believe that he wouldn't. I mean, if that would be his decision, but it has nothing to do with anything that's going on. That he was number 2 at some point, or that he's number 3 right now. That's all torts. I don't decide who plays, how much they play. I manage the team and the roster, and I let them coach.
What's just, I guess, the broad organizational philosophy headed into that one?
Nothing has changed. It's still the same for us. If there's something that makes sense for the future, we're going to look into it. And I've had a lot of different conversations, around the league. I think everybody is in the same spot. They're looking at what the options are, and they're preparing for the deadline. There's many reasons for that, why it seems that it always happens closer to the deadline. I don't expect anything different this year, but we're in different conversations, and we're, I guess, setting things up for crunch time. That's what happened last year also. But we're
they're
always
selling
listening,
again,
and
is
if
what you're
something
saying.
makes too much sense for the future of this organization, we're going to take it.
I think some of the outside noise is when's Danny going to make that big move, right? For a center or for another elite level talent. I know obviously you've said you're going to be patient. You're going to wait till the right move comes along. Has anything ever come close? Have you, do you feel maybe more the timeline's moved up maybe to get a center with 𝐊𝐈𝐂𝐊 here? How do you?
Well, what I can tell you on that is we've tried, and we're trying, and we're looking at what's out there. The reality is, there's not a lot of high-end centermen in this league, and when teams have them, they want to keep them, or the price is crazy. So, and we're not willing to give up on our future at this point. Yes, I realize that it's a glaring need that we'd like to upgrade, but it has to make sense. And and I understand you guys want some work and you'd like to have a trade to keep you busy, but the reality is, if we force something after 2 weeks, we can't press undo and start from scratch again. So we got to be sure before we make a move. But believe me, we're trying. We're looking at everything that is out there, that is available, and we're even asking questions on some guys that aren't available, just to check in and to make sure.
Does it have to be a young guy, or could you envision maybe a guy that's over 30, and I'm just speaking in terms of the center position, that maybe not a long-term solution, but maybe a stopgap where
If it makes sense, yes, but there's a lot that goes into play with that also. You know, the length of the contract on the back end, the AAV obviously is another one, and what it's going to cost you. So, you know, if it does make sense, absolutely. Um, but you know, in most cases with those older guys, it doesn't.
Could you give a progress report on some of your top prospects like 𝐊𝐍𝐔𝐁𝐋𝐄, and Andre, Baum?
Well, as far as 𝐊𝐊𝐶𝐁𝐋𝐄, he's back in juniors. Did not get traded at the deadline. Guelph is a team that is trying to grasp the come back in a playoff spot. They're on the outside looking in. You know, we're happy with his progress. He's playing a lot, and you know, for the World Juniors, played for Canada. We were disappointed in the role they gave him, but when you look at the role they gave him, he performed great. You know, we have higher expectation for him, and you know, he's probably the best skater in the World Junior tournament, and he barely played. So that's out of our control, unfortunately. But in the role that they gave him, he was excellent. So we're excited about that. Bunk, different where he's in London. They're very highly rated
He
team.
just
They
shit
should
all over
make
Canada.
another long run in the playoffs. Exciting to see that from him. World Juniors with Team Canada, it's kind of the same thing. He had a big role, but they put him in positions that is not really what is going to be his strength moving forward, which was really weird to us. But again, we don't have any control over that. You know, overall, I thought he had a really good tournament in what we expect from him, and shutting down the opposition and playing against the top lines in the tough matchups. So we're excited for him to turn pro next season. Really looking forward to him, you know, making his debut in the organization. You mentioned Emile Andre. Emile has been injured in the last week to 10 days, I believe. We're hoping that he returns this weekend for him. So Grans has been playing really well. Also down there, McDonald is coming around, getting better and better. So I don't know what the timeline is for those guys, but they're going in the right direction. They're playing some
He's right about Gron.
high minutes, heavy minutes, you know, in a really good league. So anybody else that you're looking for?
Has the young Russian goalie ranked third in their top 10. And I haven't heard that much about him, but I mean, apparently he's doing really well there.
Yeah, we're hearing good things. He was here for a short stint last year before the development camp. He was excited to be here. Another 6'3", 6'4" goalies. Well, there's him and Bjarnason, kind of in the same situation. So the future in net looks really good. They're both 19 years old. You know, but it takes time for goalies to come around. So we're going to be patient with them, but it's really exciting to hear all the good things come out of Russia about Zavragin, and same thing with Bjarnason.
To Sam Harrison for a second. Obviously, it sounds like you guys still believe in him, still very high on him. But this year is also, you know, a fact-finding mission about these goalies. And with Sam, his first year over North America kind of got ruined by groin injuries. He ended up having to get surgery, and now he's having recurring issues. Is there concern about the health and whether he can hold up to a high workload?
Yeah, you're always worried about that when injuries start coming back. It's something that we're going to monitor. I really believe in our staff down there to help him strengthen the area and make sure that he's okay. But there's definitely a lot of discussions with Sam between our athletic trainers, our strength coaches, to make sure he's put in the best position possible to succeed. As far as the goalie, yeah, we believe in him. We think there's something there. He's a gamer. You know, you guys have seen him. He doesn't get affected by a bad goal or a bad game. He comes back strong. I love that trait of character that he has, that chip on his shoulder. He's like that little scrappy forward that always keeps coming back. So we do believe in him. Yes.
Last 25 games, especially over the last 15 or so, you have been getting some balanced scoring, and some of that's coming from the middle. I mean, 𝐊𝐂𝐇 has really come on. Does that change your assessment at all about offensively, the depth you might have, and you know, kind of?
Well, it's been exciting to see that line, the three of them, with Forster and Briere, the way they elevated, and you know, and it helps the rest of the lineup also. You know, we've seen Tippett and Frost kind of start to get into a groove a little bit. TK has been good all year. It's not a surprise there, but I think it's helped the rest of the lineup having a line like that. And it's so funny how it happens. Sometimes you put three guys together, and sometimes you don't even expect it to really work, but you kind of put them together, and chemistry instantly comes. You know, I was fortunate to have that in my career a few times, and it's the best feeling in the world when you go out there and you just start believing in your line. There's nothing like it. And I look at them, the three of them, they just look excited to go on the ice. They look like they know they're going to dominate and provide a spark every time they go on the ice. And even you know, the games that it doesn't go quite as well for them, they find a way to make a big play late in the game to win it, to tie it, or whatever. That's a sign that you believe in your line mates. And like I said, it's a great feeling for them, but it's a great feeling for us to see that come together. I know for the coaching staff, it's a big relief to have a line that you can throw out there against anybody. That game in New Jersey, Jack Hughes is one of the best offensive player in the league, and you know, having to face them shift after shift and to do as well as they did, that was really exciting to watch.
With Rasmus Ristolainen, do you expect a lot of dialogue around his name come the trade deadline, and could he maybe be one of the more difficult decisions for you?
I don't know yet. You know, there's teams that have called to inquire, but Risto has been so good too for us, and he's not a rental. Now for us, there's no rush to treat him. We finally, you know, have him healthy. We finally have him playing extremely well. To find a right shot D like that, and to play in your top four, to play as physical as he does, they're tough to find. So, you know, we have him here for us too. I mean, we get excited about trading him, thinking about the kind of return we can get, but you know, I'm not shopping him. I'm not trying to get rid of him. He's a big asset for us, and it would be a big hole if we ever have to lose him. So I really don't know, you know, where it's going, but I can tell you I'm not shopping him. I did receive some calls on him.
The fact that Risto has been loud and proud about saying how much he loves playing for Torts and how much he enjoys being here, does that enter into the decision at all? Because, you know, not every player is going to get along with every coach, but does that kind of go into the thinking at all?
Yeah, and the way he's improved under Torts and Bradshaw, and it goes a long way. He keeps getting better and better. And like I said, those defensemen are tough to find, especially right shot, physical D that you can rely on, and you know, he can play against all the top end players. He defends extremely well. You know, and you watch him on the breakout, the way he uses his legs and his size to his advantage. It's a big asset. And on top of it, yeah, like you said, he likes being here. He likes to be challenged by a coach like Torts. It goes a long way.
Can't hear that question.
Evaluation is still ongoing on a lot of these young guys.
The rest of the stuff is interesting. I'll get into
the
that.
way their seasons have gone. You know, they both come out as healthy scratches at times.
Yeah.
They both sort of had hot streaks, and
Yeah, and Frosty is very similar to last year. He's a player. The deeper he gets into the season, he seems to feel better and more comfortable. We have to find a way to get him to be ready in the first 20-25 games of the season. You know, the chemistry with him, Tippett and Konechny has been good to see. And you know, and you talk about you know, centerman and being tough to find. we have to be careful about a guy like Morgan Frost. So I like where he's trending. I like how he's played in the last 15, 20 games, maybe. I don't have the exact number, but he's taken a step forward, and it's been good to see. Joel had certainly had a rough little spell lately, but him coming back in the lineup, I thought he played extremely well the last 2 games. He was, that game in Long Island, he was involved on almost all the goals. He's back to making a lot of subtle little plays that you don't always see in a game. He was doing that early in the season, even though he wasn't maybe getting rewarded with points as much as he would have liked. But he went through a little spell there in the last maybe month and a half where things were not clicking and his play fell off. But the way he's played the last 2 games is the Joel that we need and we expect to see. So again, we have to be very careful with a 24-year-old that is still growing and learning the game.
Frost is one of 4 RFAs in terms of your young core. Just where do things stand with him and can work?
Yeah, we haven't had any discussions on contract or contract extensions with any of them at this point. So I there's really no updates on that front.
Do you foresee them being part of the long-term future?
Yes, they're, and again, like we don't have any unrestricted free agents, I believe.
Like Eric Johnson.
Yeah, Eric. Is there anybody else? I think EJ might be the only one. So yeah, I mean, it's ongoing evaluation on those guys, and I would expect them to be part of the future at this point. Yeah.
And you guys have pretty much for the last 2 years been open about the fact that you guys are going to be patient with this rebuild. You're going to, let it go at the pace it needs to go. But there have been, some developments. You have Travis Konechny, he's pacing for 90 points. Michkov comes over. He's not probably what he's going to be eventually, but he's showing he's already a good NHL player.
Yeah.
You guys are probably playing better at 5-on-5 in terms of scoring chances than you did last year. The cap's going up. Is there any thought to, maybe not kicking it into overdrive, but maybe accelerating it faster than you thought maybe this time last year?
As long as it doesn't hurt the future, it's something we're going to consider. But it's, that hasn't changed. It's for us, the future is still the key. And we're looking ahead. We're looking forward. The players are going to decide in the moment how far they want to push it. And it's been awesome to see. We talked about Cates' line. We've talked about Konechny, Tippett kind of coming around. Jamie Drysdale has been playing a lot better. So, there's a lot going on. It's exciting to see it. I know it's not easy to be patient, and believe me, there's days, even myself, that I have to control myself because you get excited by some of the things that you see from your players. But the part that hasn't changed is we don't want to build a team that's going to make the playoffs one year, miss the playoff, make the play. We're trying to build a contender that's going to have a chance to win down the road for many years to come.
Thank you.
And not just try to make the playoffs, become a contender that has a chance to win a cup. That goal hasn't changed.
Scott Lawton's name is one that's come up a little bit in trade rumors. I remember last year after the deadline in where were we, Tampa, you talked about how the bar to acquire a Scott Lawton is high because of the value you place on culture. Same thing this year, 12 months
Absolutely. And Scotty still has another year on his contract. He's not a rental. So he's important to the dressing room, and I really think his play has really kicked in the last 20 games. I didn't really love his start of the season. But I could go on, and most of the team as a whole, we didn't have a great start. It was tough to start out west. We didn't have a great start. It took us a few weeks to really get going. And part of that is, a guy that's one of your leader in the locker room, and Scott Lawton has a lot to do with that. He's critical to our culture. But again, if there's something that makes too much sense, it's our duty to listen and to do the right thing for this organization, this team moving forward. And you know, all the players, I've been very clear with the players. I tell them all the same thing. I'm not trying to get rid of Risto or Scott Lawn, you know, but it's our duty to listen and do the right thing for the organization.
Yeah, that's smart.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let me stop this. Okay. That was good. Where do I start here? I got some notes. Let me know your thoughts. Put them in the comments. Jake, what's up, man? Soda Man. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. So I definitely, you know, I think the way he talked about the goalies makes sense. I think he's correct. You can't put all of it on the goaltenders. I think that's true. I'll start at the beginning. That's definitely true. You can't put all of that on the goaltenders. There's been moments where it's like, what the hell? You know, I think when you look at kind of where they are and whatnot, I think, you know, some of it's been on the defense, some of it's been on the goalies. I think that's both. He said looking at different options and different things on 𝐊𝐶. Now, I don't know if that means trade. I don't know if that means waivers. I don't know, because really the only one who can go on waivers is Fedotov. He was talking about 𝐊𝐶 and Fedotov and that, so I don't know on that front. That was interesting. Realizes they have to get a center. They can't force it, have to be sure, and they don't want to give up on the future. Like, and this is what I've always kind of wanted from a Flyers GM, where I don't want you to just make a move to make a move. I want you to understand that there's, you know, a legit core that's being built here. And I think when you look at it, you know, I think he's right in a lot of these different ways. Like, I don't think there's a rush to make any of these moves. I don't think there's a I think the one thing I will say, I think the Risto stuff is, I don't think he's telling the truth there. I think that's something that he's trying to keep that quiet, because they don't want anything to really blow up with that yet. I think the one thing you got to understand with this is Briere's quiet and they don't want a lot of stuff to get out. Like, if you think about the last couple of years, like, everything has been like all the, like, the whole Chuck era was like, everything was just like, everything came out and this and that and the other. And it's like, I don't know, like, what's going to come out and what isn't and whatnot. But like, you know, I think that stuff is, you know, kind of like the fake kind of stuff that he's throwing out there. Tight-lipped. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. He's being tight-lipped about Risto. I don't think that's, you know, they're not selling Risto. Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, if you're not selling Risto, then I don't necessarily agree with that. Not like, you know, sell Risto, but at the same time, I just feel like that's one of them things where, you know, Risto's a guy that everything that Danny said, you literally could look at as like the opposite. Like, and look, I get it. Like, there's no rush to make a move. I'm totally fine with that. I just don't know if any of that was like the legit truth there. I think he made a really good point on the Cates line. I think that's interesting. You know, there hasn't been any talk on, you know, the RFAs. If you look at the Flyers contracts, and like that entire, you know, situation there, you know, you look at contracts and stuff. RFAs going into next season are Cates, Frost, Forrester, York, and that's it. So, you know, there hasn't been any discussions on Cates, Frost, Forrester, and York in terms of, yeah, I mean, I think what he said was legit. Like, there's not a ton they really can do right now. You know, I think he's trying to figure out what's the best thing for this team. I don't want a GM that's just going to go out there and just fucking, you know, sell everything and do like that's stupid to me. I think he made some good points about Luchenko and Bonk, and it was interesting. He said Bonk kind of making his debut next season in the org, so I'm assuming Bonk's going to turn pro after this year and become a Phantom, which will be cool to see next year. Phantoms are going to be good for a couple of years here, like moving forward, like so I don't know. I'm kind of happy with it. Jared, I don't know if I could give this to you, man. That's one of my favorites. She's a beaut. She sits back there, and I'm a hefty lad, and that fits me pretty well. So I don't know if I could find that again. Listen, it depends on how much cash we're talking here, but you have my number. Shoot me a text, and we'll see. Yeah, I really think the Risto stuff was fake. Like, I think they're definitely taking calls on Risto. And when he mentioned the center, I know they checked in on the center. Like, I know they tried to make a move. And it wasn't a whopper. It was going to be a pretty big move. You know, so $3,000? Holy shit. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Risto thing's interesting. Like, I'm not like mad at Briere. I don't understand the whole, like, you know, they got to keep making these moves and they got to do this and like. I'd rather be patient, man. See it, play it out, see what happens. I like what they're doing. Let the season go by and see what you have, and then kind of assess it, and you know, yeah, I mean, I think they're going to definitely make a move at the deadline. I think they're obviously going to sell. And a lot of stuff could change. I mean, he's talking to us on January 21st. I mean, this is in like a, 6 weeks or so, the deadline. So like a lot can change. Yeah. Declan, I think they've been open to moving Frost. I'm debating doing a little blog here for the site. Putting some thoughts down. We got a new little style that we got coming to Maher Media in terms of the articles and whatnot. So stay tuned for that, because that'll be fun. And I think I'm gonna try and start that. But yeah, like I said, like what the hell? Yeah. Summer's gonna be fun. There's gonna be a lot of moves. I think they're gonna make some noise. I think you just gotta be patient is the big thing. Oh man. Would you trade Lawton? I like him, but I feel like we could bring in. I mean, I'm not like completely not open to it. I feel like you definitely could move Lawton soon. You know, I think if you do move Lawton, I do think it kind of, because I think the Flyers are in a tough spot because Briere kind of came in and there were essentially three things he had to fix. And when you look at it, it was number one was obviously the all nice product, right? Number two was the culture and, you know, getting the fans back and whatnot. And number three was essentially like all the other little minor details, not like minor details, but stuff that was like, you know, the ticket sales and all that stuff. Like it just make them a product again, essentially was what it was. And like it was he's you know, he's fixed most of that. And like the Illinois product, it's getting there. I think it's obvious, you know, they want to make the playoffs and they want to be able to be in that. And I really don't have a problem with that. You know, considering that I don't think this rebuild has been something that's, you know, just been these past couple of years. It's been, this is like year 4 of it now. You know, they never actually came out and said it, but like they were doing it. So it's hard. I don't know. Exactly. And I think like, you know, I think Battleship kind of said it best, like when things are quiet, you know, yeah. And like, I think they're definitely trying to make a move and they're trying to do something. I think they're just being really quiet. I don't think they're not saying anything on purpose or whatnot, but they're trying to do something. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think we got to wait and see kind of what happens. But I'm fine with this. Like I don't have a ton of issues with what was said. I'm you know, I'm kind of good with everything. I'm just glad that they're being patient and they're not like completely selling and just like absolute dumpster fire. Like it's just it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah, exactly. Like it's very clear they have a plan. Like it's not like they're just sitting there like, now what? You know what I mean? Like, and that's my thing this whole time has been like, let's try to figure out like what they're gonna do and like let's be, you know, a little quiet and stuff. And like I'm totally fine with that. I don't think the Risto stuff is I really don't think that's true. I think they are trying to move him. I could be way off. That's just my gut feeling. Um, you know, I think the Flyers are really trying to do something big, and I think they just want to be quiet. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, look, I still think they're going to sell at the deadline. I don't think they're not going to sell. Like, he literally said that, you know, he was like, you know, we're obviously, I forget the exact wording, but he did say it. I think I might have written it down. No, I didn't write it down. Fuck. But I know he said it, and I'm sure someone tweeted it. But again, like he you know, it basically admitted that they're going to be selling again, and they're not, you know, they're not just gonna like obviously like this stretch upcoming is huge, and I've talked about it a bunch. You know, you look at tonight's game, and I think a lot of what Briere is talking about is try and I mean, obviously it's hard because you have guys here that want to make the playoffs, but then you have a fan base that like half the fan base wants you to sell the entire team. The other fan base is like, all right, like try and make the playoffs, see what you can do. It's like, you know, and then it's like play out the season and see what happens. I think they're going about this the right way. When I look at, again, the schedule coming up is good for this team. Like they're in a good spot, I think, in terms of you know, playoffs and whatnot. And you know, right now, I think in the standings, they are yeah, they're 4 points out of the first wild card spot, and they're two teams are tied. Boston and Ottawa with 52. Columbus is right there with 51. Montreal with 50. The Rangers with 48. Flyers with 48. Pitt with 48, and the Red Wings with 46. Flyers play Detroit tonight. That's a huge game in terms of, I mean, you go from the Islanders at 45. I mean, there's a 7-point difference from first place in the wild card spot to 9th place in the Eastern Conference, and then you obviously have the division winners. And you look at how fucking bad the Atlantic Division is. The Flyers would have been, if they were in the Atlantic, they would have been 5 points out of 3rd place, right? And in the Metro, they would have been 10. So there's like a 2-3 win like gap in the Metro than the Atlantic. It's like, it's crazy. So I mean, again, this stretch is huge. You win some of these games. Tonight against Detroit is a big game. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. And they are on a 2-game losing streak, though. Flyers are on a 2-game winning streak. Urson's in net. I think the Red Wings, I think they're banged up a little bit. I think when I look at this, they got, yeah, Larkin's got 7 points in his last 5. Konechny has 8. Larkin leads the team in goals, assists, and points in the last 3 games. Red Wings are the 2nd best power play in the NHL. That's crazy. The worst penalty kill. So that kind of, you know, that's a big thing. Face-offs are around the same. I mean, they're literally 0.2% off from each other. Red Wings last 10 games, they had wins against Pitt, Columbus, Winnipeg, Ottawa, Chicago, Seattle. Lost to San Jose, beat Florida, and then lost to Tampa and Dallas the past 2 games. Flyers beat San Jose, lost to Vegas, Toronto twice, Dallas, beat Anaheim, Florida. Flyers are 4-1-0 in their last 5. Red Wings are 2-3-0. So, you know, that's been pretty good too. And Raymond's been legit for them. So, like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, these, you know, this is the last of the season series. There's been some pretty good games between these 2 teams too. So we shall see. But yeah, again, like I like where this is going. I think they're right there in the mix. I've always said I want them to make the playoffs. Because we run this company and it would be nice, you know, to get some playoff coverage. And I've never really seen them like make the playoffs like that and actually be able to like cover it. When last time they made the playoffs, I had like 400 subscribers on YouTube. Like there wasn't the people that, you know, knew me or knew like about what I did or anything like that. So like personally, I'd love for them to get in. If they don't, I get it. It is what it is. And I don't know, but I've always kind of thought that if they had a goaltender that could do it, you know, so I don't know. We shall see. But all right, I think we're coming up against an hour. Listen, anyone out there watching this, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Got 300 people in here watching this across YouTube and whatnot. I do a podcast each week with Mike 𝐊𝐈𝐂𝐊𝐿, who used to play for the Flyers, and it's been a lot of fun. And Mike is a great guy, and we have some really cool stuff coming. We just had interview with Darian Hatcher that is up on our YouTube channel right now. We've been doing a lot of different stuff. So again, please stay tuned for that. I'm going to be doing some streams throughout the end of the season and whatnot too. So yeah, like I said, it's been a lot of fun doing this, and you know, I hope you guys are enjoying it and stuff. And you know, check out Kicking It with Knuble, the pod that I do with Mike Knuble, all the other content that we do at Maher Media. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, you know, it's been great. So like I said, thanks everybody again for all the support. Thanks for checking out Maher Media and all the stuff that we do. And like I said, check out the pod. And yeah, I'll be we got some more content coming throughout the day and stuff too. So stay tuned, everybody. Thanks again. And talk to you guys all soon. See you guys.